I'm Mike Alcoholic.
Hey, Mike.
I was thinking about, in the more than ample time I had to decide what I was going to talk about today, about what time of year it is, and I always try to do it that way when I do the topic on a special occasion, which is New Year's, which is now. And I got to thinking about what it talks about in Bill's story, where he was talking about to his wife that he was serious this time. He meant business. And he said even his wife thought so. And then the next sentence after the period, shortly afterward, I came home drunk, and the words he said is the vein of the topic that I wanted to talk about. He goes, "Where was my high resolve?" Because we have New Year's, and we have this idea of a New Year's resolution. And I got to thinking about the word resolution and how the book has some insight on it. And I might throw my 2 cents worth in. This idea of a resolution is nothing new. I mean, if you've been around here for any length of time, you're going to see the meetings start to fill up. And then, of course, springtime, maybe a couple of months later, they'll thin off because those resolutions fade. But what has lasting power? And in the doctor's opinion, they talk about it. They talk about the 5 types of alcoholics. I won't tell you the Roman numerals because the numbers are different in the couple of editions, but I think it's 26 in the 3rd edition, maybe 29 in the 4th, but it talks about there's the people that are going on the wagon for keeps. They make many resolutions, but never a decision. And then I got to thinking about, let's see, so this just resolution by itself doesn't seem to have much staying power, but there must be something to this resolution and a decision. Now you may be thinking, well, a decision don't mean shit, because 3 frogs on a log and all this business. But our book talks about the decision in a special way, doesn't it? It talks about our 3rd step decision on 64. It talks about, although our decision was vital and crucial, it will have little permanent effect unless followed by a strenuous effort to face and be rid of. Meaning, if it is followed by that strenuous effort, then my decision can have permanence. It said little or no permanent effect unless. Meaning if I do it, it can have permanent effect. So this idea that the doctor was talking about, a resolution, they said they make many resolutions but never a decision. If I'm able to make a resolution and a decision, which our book makes clear implies action, then I can stay here too. It's not just the book talks about I resolutely turn my thoughts to someone I could help. I'm talking about in a real way, what is my resolution this year going to be? And it implies that I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. And Dr. Bob said it best. He said, as long as I keep doing what I've been doing and keep believing what I've been believing, I believe I'll never have to drink again for the rest of my life. So, when I think about a resolution, and I've gone into the book and what that implies and what needs to accompany the resolution, which is a decision, which also has to have action. When I got to thinking about what type of resolution that I need to make, and I think that it's not just saying I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing. I want to resolve to do something, but here's the key, and here's my observation with my past and my observation with many alcoholics. We write checks our ass can't cash. Oh, I resolved to lose 20 pounds by next week. That is a fucking check that my ass cannot cash. All right, now here's the deal. I would rather write a small check that's reasonable and attainable that I can actually accomplish than a big check that somebody's going to sit on the sideline and say, what about that little check you wrote there, bro? Yeah, I noticed you ain't done shit. See, that ain't the kind of deal you want to be living. Because I've been the guy going, hey, what about that check you wrote, bro? Because, see, I've been here long enough to hear all manner and means of resolutions that are unattainable. The idea that our book talks about resting on our laurels implies that I must build some laurels. And what is a laurel? It's an accomplishment. And from an early on, the way my sponsor did me and the way I do the people I work with, is I say, we want to set reasonable, attainable goals to build laurels, to send myself a signal that I'm not a failure and that I can do things. Because I had a track record of writing checks my ass couldn't cash, setting myself up for failure, for lofty goals that there's no way I could accomplish, like my sponsor asking me to read the first 164 like it says I must do on 95. When I ask somebody if they ask me to sponsor them, I say, well, it says on 95 you got to read the book. When can you have it read? Tomorrow. That is not reasonable. That's not attainable. We have a week agreement. We agree on a week because it's reasonable and it's attainable, and it begins to build those laurels and flips the script on my failure mentality. That's where I wanted to go with this. I come in here with a failure mentality because I've set myself up to fail, subconsciously sabotaging my entire life. And I can't seem to get the simple fact that if I will tone down my resolutions and my goals to where I can accomplish them, I can begin to do something. I can begin to say, you know what, Mike, you're not a failure. Not with words, with actions, with results. Because talk is cheap. I just wanted to throw that out there and interject in my mind some experience, strength, and hope, instead of war stories, weakness, and despair, in a time of year that has many people very anxious. Can we just agree on that? This is a very anxious time of year because my disease wants to put a special kind of permission to get high on these few days we've been going through. I need to be grounded in reality to realize that, yeah, I drank on New Year's Day and Christmas Day, but I also drank on Tuesday and Wednesday. And that it's just another day. But this day can be special in that I can make a resolution that I can attain. And I think if I could have a resolution, I'm going to say I want to make some of my somedays todays this year. Some of those things that the disease took away from me, I'm going to say I'm going to do them in recovery. Someday I'll do that. Someday I'll go take dance lessons. Someday I'll get that world record in Halo when there's dust on the fucking box because I've been doing other things that are more important, right? The disease has robbed me of all my hobbies and dreams when I get here. If I can make one of those somedays a today, because someday never comes unless I make it a today. And I attribute that someday, today, to recovery. It means more to me. And when something means more to me, I'm less liable to just piss it away. And I see a lot of people pissing a lot of sobriety away in the last 6 months. It is mind-boggling. And I'm not talking about going all the way to Elmwood, which I've gone to 4 funerals in 4 weeks. I'm talking about, in a real way, this recovery can be, in a reality in my mind, recovery has not taken anything away from me. It's given me the opportunity for everything. But it took me flipping the script on my mentality to set attainable and reasonable goals, to build laurels, to appreciate the recovery I've been given, and to try to carry that message to newcomers that may be thinking the same thing I was thinking, that everything I think is wrong and I'm broken, and because I'm an addict, I might as well give up because I'm a failure. And that is a lie. So I have made a resolution. I've coupled it with a decision. Attainable goals. Let's talk about it. Everybody may have heard something different. I'm certain that everybody's got a different resolution. But I'm also certain, and I'm very hopeful, that every person in this room is willing to set an attainable goal to show themselves that they're not a failure. I've had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, and I'll pass.